name's Janie. I'm 11 years old. I live in Peabody, Massachusetts. I'm in 5th grade. And today I'm going to be making sun-dried tomato pasta with chicken and spinach. Come on in! This is my movie room. This is where I sit down, watch movies, and play with my little sister Jada. This is my living room. This is where I sit down, watch Food Network, and learn more recipes. This is my computer room. This is where I look online for new recipes that I should make dinner. This is my other living room. This is also where I watch TV. And this is my kitchen. This is where the magic happens. I'm with my mom and dad and my little sister Jada, and my Nana and Papa live downstairs. I learned to cook from watching my Nana and Papa, my mom and dad in the kitchen. And then I started watching TV shows, and then I had to take over control. I love to cook. It's so fun. I love to cook because it brings together my family. Because after a long day of work and school and after-school activities, we have to sit down and eat together. It's exciting to cook so I can see my family and talk about our day. I love to be in the kitchen because, like I said, it brings my family together. And I love to show off my skills. The kitchen is where I can show off all my best skills. And when cooking sun-dried tomato pasta and chicken and spinach, you have to remember to wash off all your meat, your vegetables, and everything else that you buy. And you have to always wash your hands and make sure to hold the handle when you're holding a pot. When I cook, there's no rules. It's all just fun. Cooking is so fun to do. And let me tell you some ingredients while you're here. I have, in my pot, I'm cooking some garlic in the sun-dried tomato oil and sun-dried tomatoes. I have some pasta already boiled. And let me tell you a secret. Boil your pasta in salt water. It gives the pasta more flavor. I have some chicken. I have some half and half. I have some mozzarella cheese. I have some spinach. And I have some Parmesan cheese. And I have some basil. Now that I chopped my garlic, I'm just going to let this and the sun-dried tomatoes all cook together. And while I'm waiting, I'm going to chop up my chicken into inch cubes. After this is all done cooking, I'm going to add in my chicken. This dish is so fun to make. And it's good for kids because it gives you some vegetables, and it gives you some grains, and it gives you some meat. And plus, it's delicious. That's what really counts. Now that I'm cutting this up, I hear that this is bubbling. I just want to heat up the sun-dried tomatoes and the garlic. I'm just going to give it one more minute, but before I do that, I have to wash off my hands because of the chicken and clean off my cutting board because I just cut chicken. Now that this is all nice, I'm going to take out my sun-dried tomatoes and then I'm going to cut them up. The reason that I use the sun-dried tomato oil is because it gives the dish more flavor instead of using plain olive oil. I pre-boiled my pasta because it would take up more time. It's okay if you get out a little bit of oil, as long as you keep some in there for the chicken. Now I'm going to add in my chicken. Hear the sizzle? I love that sound. And now I'm going to add in some paprika to give it some flavor and mix it all together. And if you feel like it might need some more paprika, you can always add in more. I think I might want to add in a little bit more. Now I'm going to let the chicken cook with the paprika, oil, and garlic. And now I'm going to wash off my knife because the last thing I cut on it was the chicken. And now I'm going to chop up my sun-dried tomatoes. Don't cut them too small, but cut them small enough that you're not taking huge bites. Careful, because they're kind of hot because I just took them out. Like this is a good size to eat it. Like this is too big. Now I'm going to stir my chicken because I don't want it to all get brown on one side. Sun-dried tomatoes are so delicious. I just love them. Now I'm going to clean off my station because the clean kitchen is good. Just put it in the sink. My chicken is cooking. And while the chicken is cooking, I'm just going to keep stirring it. Now I'm going to just put these back in the bowl so I can get other stuff done. Now I'm going to clean off my board. So I can cut up my basil. Because once after the chicken is done cooking, all you have to do is add in the half and half. Now that my chicken is about done, yep. Now that my chicken is done, I'm going to add in back my sun-dried tomatoes that I now cut. And stir it in. Then I'm going to add in my half and half. It's a cup of half and half. Now I'm going to stir it. And add in my cheese. And now I'm going to add in my pasta before I stir it. Now I'm going to stir it all together. Make sure it's all covered with the sauce. And I'm going to add in some pasta water. I reserved some pasta water from when I boiled it to loosen up the sauce. Now I'm going to add in some basil leaves, some dried basil leaves, and some crushed red pepper. It depends how spicy you want it. I'm just going to put just that much. Now I'm going to stir it all together and let it all bind together. Smells delicious. I'm going to add in my spinach. I add it in later because it cooks quickly. And just stir it together and let it all come together. And while that is all coming together, I am going to chop my basil. I'm just going to take just a couple of basil and roll them up together, nice and tight. And I'm going to chop it into little strips. And then you get a perfect basil strip. Now I have enough basil. Now I'm going to get my plate. First, let me just stir this together. It smells so good. Now let me get my plate. Now that I have my plate, I'm going to stir it one more time. Now I'm going to serve it. When serving it, take your plate and scoop some in the middle. Look at all the delicious colors. And I'm going to clean up my plate. Let me just turn down my oven. I'm just cleaning the plate because presentation is key. Get it nice, cleaned off. Now I'm going to put on freshly grated cheese that I will grate myself. Have one of these gloves. You don't want to cut yourself. Pick it up and grate some on top. Put on as much cheese as you like. And we'll sprinkle some basil. And because of this dish, this is why I should be on Rachel's Ray Kids Cook-Off. Voila. Thank you.